Chapter 1. The Fateful Encounter. It was a gray Friday afternoon, the sky mirroring Alex's mood. The bustling city felt empty to him. Towering buildings and endless streets beneath his feet no longer brought him the sense of accomplishment or excitement they once did. Alex sat behind the wheel of his expensive sports car, quietly driving through the streets as if searching for something he couldn't name. Work, money, relationships, all felt like fragmented pieces of a life he no longer felt connected to. Since his youth, Alex had thrown himself into the business world with relentless ambition and logic. He built a renowned hotel empire, becoming one of the wealthiest men in the city. But over time, all he gained were numbers in his bank account and the hollow admiration of those around him. The loneliness of standing at the top, it was a feeling Alex had grown so familiar with that it became his unwelcome companion. This afternoon was no different. He pulled over by the sidewalk to take an important call from an overseas partner. Light rain drizzled down the windshield, leaving blurry streaks like an unfinished painting. As the call ended, Alex placed his hand on the steering wheel, ready to continue driving when, screech! The sharp sound of metal scraping against metal echoed clearly. Alex whipped his head to the right. Damn it! Under the dim streetlights, he saw a young woman in a wheelchair struggling to move away from his car. The wheel of her chair had caught on the curb, causing her to veer off course and scrape against his door. Alex frowned and opened the door. His footsteps echoed faintly on the damp pavement as he approached her. The woman, petite, with long hair cascading over her shoulders, was adjusting the wheel with furrowed brows as she noticed the long scratch etched into the sleek black door of his car. Alex stopped, his cold gaze shifting from the scratch to the woman. The distant noise of the city faded, leaving only the quiet space between them under the light rain. Do you have any idea how much this car costs? His voice was deep and sharp, each word meticulously measured. Clara paused, looking up at Alex. Her eyes were bright but unflinching. There was no fear or hesitation, only a disarming directness. I'm sorry. I'm willing to compensate you. Her voice was soft but firm. Alex froze for a moment. The first thing she offered was compensation, something he rarely heard from someone in her situation. Compensate, he repeated, the corner of his mouth lifting slightly as if he'd heard something amusing. And how exactly do you plan to pay? Clara quietly lowered her gaze, her hands resting on the wheels. Her fingers trembled slightly in the cold rain. I don't have much money, but I'll work and pay in installments, if you agree. Alex studied her for a long moment, his eyes drifting over the old wheelchair, the simple rain-soaked clothes, and the worn shoes she wore. A gentle breeze passed through, carrying the silence between them. Finally, Alex's voice softened, and the sharpness in his eyes faded. Forget it. It's just a scratch. Are you all right? He sighed, slipping his hands into his coat pockets. Clara's eyes widened slightly, surprised by his calm response. I'm fine, but... You think that scratch is worth worrying about? Alex cut her off, his gaze still fixed on her. If anything's worth the concern, it's you. Clara held his gaze for a moment before shaking her head lightly. Thank you. Alex stood quietly. The rain began to fall harder, yet he made no move to return to his car. Do you need help? He asked, and even he didn't understand why he felt compelled to offer. Clara smiled gently, tapping the frame of her wheelchair. I'm used to it, but thank you. Alex nodded, though his eyes lingered on the slight misalignment of her wheel. He sighed softly. Let me give you a ride. It's going to pour soon. Clara hesitated, but seeing the sincerity in his eyes, she nodded. I work at a nearby nursing home, just a few streets away. Alex raised an eyebrow. A nursing home? Yes, I volunteer there. Alex remained silent, but curiosity stirred within him. A woman in a wheelchair volunteering at a nursing home? All right then. Alex opened the car door slowly. I'll drive you there. Consider it saving me the cost of repainting my car. Clara laughed softly. Thank you, but you really don't have to. Her laughter echoed lightly in the rain as she left. Alex smirked faintly and nodded, watching her wheel herself down the street. The sports car eventually drove away, leaving the small road behind. Yet something within Alex felt subtly different, as gentle as the smile of the girl in the wheelchair. Welcome to today's story. Let us know which city you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to never miss meaningful stories. Chapter 2. Curiosity and Connection. A few days later, Clara's image still lingered in Alex's mind. Her optimism was something he couldn't forget. Curious, Alex decided to visit the nursing home she had mentioned. After a tense meeting one late afternoon, Alex drove slowly through the crowded streets, but his thoughts drifted to the encounter from a few days ago. His sports car now bore a long scratch from a wheelchair's wheel. But what stuck with Alex wasn't the scratch. It was the eyes and bright smile of the girl who caused it. "I volunteer at a nearby nursing home. Thank you for not asking me to pay for the damage." Those words puzzled Alex. A woman in a wheelchair, yet still willing to contribute to the community? That evening, as he sat on the balcony of his penthouse, Alex decided to look further. He scrolled through a list of nursing homes in the area, and the name Hope Nursing Home appeared at the top. Maybe she's here, Alex thought. A few days later, Alex parked in front of Hope Nursing Home. The simple iron gate and lush green trees created a peaceful atmosphere, completely different from the noise and luxury he was used to. He stepped through the gate, his leather shoes making soft sounds on the stone path. In the corner of the garden, Alex spotted Clara sitting in her wheelchair, carefully tucking a blanket around an elderly woman. She spoke gently, her smile warm and bright. Alex stopped, his eyes fixed on the petite girl engaged in conversation. Nearby, an elderly man sat on a stone bench, leaning on his cane. He quietly observed Alex, noticing his gaze lingering on Clara. With a knowing smile, the old man spoke. "You're here to see Clara?" Alex snapped out of his thoughts, turning to the old man. "Oh, not exactly. I just happened to stop by." The old man chuckled, his eyes twinkling. "You're not the first to look at her like that, but I must say, she's quite special." Alex glanced at him, curiosity flickering. "Has she been working here long?" "Almost 2 years now," the old man replied, his gaze soft as he looked at Clara. "I've never met anyone as dedicated and cheerful as her. She takes care of us like family. She's truly remarkable. Even though she can't walk, her heart is bigger than anyone I've ever met. Since Clara came here, this place feels brighter." Alex stood in silence, feeling a deeper sense of admiration for Clara, someone who carried a warmth he hadn't encountered in anyone else. A faint smile crossed Alex's lips, a strange and unexplainable feeling stirring inside him. Just then, Clara wheeled herself closer, unaware of Alex's presence. "Clara, you have a visitor," the old man called, pointing toward Alex. Clara turned, her eyes widening in surprise when she recognized Alex. "You're the man from the other day?" Alex nodded, stepping forward. "I remember you said you volunteered here, so I thought I'd stop by." Clara laughed softly, curiosity lighting up her eyes. "I didn't take you for the type to visit nursing homes." "Neither did I, until I met you." Clara raised an eyebrow. "Are you saying I'm the reason you came here?" Alex smirked. "Possibly." Clara extended her hand. "I'm Clara. Nice to meet you." Again. Alex shook her hand, feeling the warmth and energy she radiated. "Alex, the pleasure's mine, Clara." "So what do you think? Is the nursing home what you imagined?" Clara asked, her eyes sparkling. Alex looked around. The elderly residents were chatting happily, some playing chess, all seemingly content. "I think it's peaceful. I might need to visit more often." Clara smiled. "If you have free time, we're always happy to have volunteers." Alex raised a brow, slightly surprised. "Me? A volunteer? Why not?" Clara grinned playfully. "Even millionaires can volunteer." Alex paused for a moment, then nodded. "Maybe I'll give it a try." Clara watched him curiously, amusement in her eyes. "Well, welcome to Hope Nursing Home, Alex." That late afternoon, as Alex left the nursing home, he felt an unusual sense of calm. One thing was certain. "I'll be coming back." Chapter 3. Growing Affection. Since their last encounter, Alex began visiting the nursing home more frequently. At first, he told himself it was merely curiosity, but each time he left, he felt an unexplainable sense of calm and peace. Without realizing it, Alex found himself lingering in the small garden behind the home. the place where Clara often sat with the elderly, telling stories and laughing with them. He was surprised by her patience and gentleness, something he, a man accustomed to a world of pressure and coldness, had never experienced. "You're here again?" Clara looked up when she saw Alex approaching, wheeling herself closer to the chess table she had been sharing with an elderly man. Alex sat down beside her, his gaze shifting toward the game. "I think I'm starting to like this place," he said with a light smile. "Really, I thought nursing homes weren't exactly an ideal place for a successful businessman to relax," Clara teased, her voice holding the familiar softness. Alex raised an eyebrow, leaning slightly closer as if to whisper, "Maybe it's because of one particular volunteer here." Clara laughed out loud, though a flicker of surprise flashed in her eyes. After a few conversations, the two grew closer. One afternoon, as the golden sunlight filtered through the branches, they sat together by the flower beds, where vibrant chrysanthemums bloomed. Alex rested his elbow on his knee, watching Clara carefully trim the withered flowers. "Why did you choose to work here?" he asked suddenly. Clara paused, looking up at him. Her eyes sparkled, reflecting the fading light of the sun. "I believe everyone deserves love. When I had my accident, someone helped me. Now I want to give back in this way." Alex fell silent. He hadn't expected such a story to lie behind her ever-present smile. "I used to think life was unfair, but then I realized if I kept holding on to that thought, I would miss out on all the beautiful things around me. That's why I'm here, to take care of the elderly. They remind me that each day can be a gift." Alex gazed at Clara for a long while, a quiet admiration stirring within him. This woman, though confined to a wheelchair, radiated a strength and positivity he had never encountered before. "What about you?" Clara suddenly turned the question back on him. "Why do you spend so much time here?" Alex smiled, his eyes drifting to the horizon. "I suppose I'm searching for something, or maybe someone." Clara looked at him, her heart fluttering slightly. Though Alex often appeared cold and distant, in moments like this, she sensed a sincerity few people ever saw in him. "You seem like someone who doesn't share much about yourself," Clara said softly, her gaze returning to the flower beds. Alex nodded, leaning back against the bench. "I guess I've been used to being alone for too long." "But it's different now, isn't it?" Clara turned to him, a playful glint in her eye. Alex met her gaze directly, the corner of his mouth lifting into a subtle smile. "Yes, it's different now." As the afternoons passed by, Alex realized that every visit to the nursing home no longer felt like an escape from his life's emptiness. Instead, he found himself looking forward to their conversations, to hearing Clara's simple stories that somehow brought him peace. For Clara, each time Alex visited, she couldn't deny the slight flutter in her chest. Beneath his hard exterior and success, Alex was a warm and dependable man. "Maybe he's not as cold as he seems," Clara thought, her smile growing unconsciously whenever she saw Alex helping the elderly or simply sitting quietly with her by the garden. From that point on, the nursing home wasn't just a place of volunteering for Clara. It became a place where both of them discovered an unexpected, gentle connection. Chapter 4. The Secret of the Past. Late afternoon, the golden glow of sunset blanketed the small garden of the nursing home. Alex and Clara sat on a stone bench, surrounded by the peaceful sounds of leaves rustling in the wind. Clara trimmed a few withered flowers, her gentle smile unwavering. Alex watched her silently, a heaviness settling in his chest. "You're always so diligent," he broke the silence. Clara looked up and smiled. "I don't like staying still. Doing something makes me feel useful." Alex's gaze shifted to her legs, his long-standing curiosity gnawing at him. "If you don't mind, could you tell me what happened?" Clara was momentarily surprised but remained calm. "You want to know about my accident?" Alex nodded. "I've always wondered what made you so strong." Clara exhaled softly, her eyes drifting toward the end of the garden, where the sun dipped behind the old buildings. "I used to be a dance teacher. My youth was filled with stages and classrooms. I loved it and thought I'd do it forever." Alex raised his eyebrows. "A dance teacher?" "Yes, but everything changed 2 years ago." Clara's voice softened. "That day I left class early. On my way home, I saw an elderly man crossing the street during a red light. I ran over to help him. Alex felt his heart begin to race. Just as I pushed him halfway across, a black sports car came speeding towards us. I managed to get him to safety, but I wasn't so lucky. Clara tightened her grip on the wheelchair. The driver didn't stop. Alex froze, a chill running down his spine. The description felt eerily familiar. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. The doctors said I would never walk again. Clara smiled faintly, but Alex saw the sadness hidden beneath it. At the time, I couldn't accept it. I lost everything. My passion, my career, my future. She took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. I lived in despair for months. It felt like everything had ended. Alex looked at Clara, feeling the strength radiating from her gaze. So what helped you get through it? Clara turned to him, her eyes soft and warm. A friend suggested I try volunteering here at the nursing home. At first, I thought it would be temporary, but then I found joy here. She smiled. The elderly here are like a second family. They helped me realize that no matter what we lose, we can still give something back. Alex sat quietly, emotions swelling inside him. You're incredibly strong. Clara laughed softly, shaking her head. I just do what I can. That evening, Alex drove aimlessly through the city, unconsciously passing the intersection Clara had mentioned. Memories of a rainy afternoon 2 years ago flooded back. Her story aligned perfectly with the accident he had caused. The location, the type of car. He had driven away partly because he was in a hurry and partly because he thought it was a minor incident. Alex pulled over, his eyes fixed on the road ahead. It can't be. Was it Clara? His grip on the steering wheel tightened, his breathing heavy. If she finds out, will she forgive me? The next morning, Alex called his assistant. I need you to investigate an accident at intersection 12, 2 years ago. That evening, the assistant called back. Sir, the victim of that accident, her name was Clara. The phone slipped from Alex's hand. Clara? Alex leaned back in his chair, his eyes empty. I did that to her. Guilt washed over him, suffocating his chest. For 3 days, Alex didn't visit the nursing home. Each morning, he picked up his phone, but set it down, torn between facing Clara and continuing to hide. I've lived with this lie for 2 years. Can I hold on to it a little longer? But every time he remembered her eyes, filled with kindness and warmth, he knew he couldn't keep running. Alex sat by the window in his office looking down at the bustling city. Yet no matter how bright the lights below shimmered, his heart remained empty. I have everything, but I'm afraid of losing a girl in a wheelchair. He let out a bitter laugh. Clara may not have her legs, but she's strong and free. Meanwhile, I'm the one who's trapped. The feeling could no longer be ignored. Chapter 5. A New Beginning. The next day, Alex returned to the nursing home. Clara was gently placing a blanket over an elderly woman's shoulders when Alex approached. Clara, I need to talk to you, he said, his voice low but resolute. She turned to him, her eyes shimmering as always. You're making me nervous. What's wrong? Alex sat down across from her, his throat tightening. The driver who caused your accident, it was me. Clara froze, her hands trembling slightly on the edge of the wheelchair. It was you? Alex nodded, guilt evident in his eyes. I only found out a few days ago. I was scared of losing you, but I can't keep hiding it. The air between them grew heavy with silence. Alex could hear the wind rustling through the garden, blending with Clara's calm, steady breaths. She sat quietly, gazing into the distance where the evening sun slowly dipped below the horizon. Her hands gently gripped the arms of her wheelchair, as if grounding herself against the weight of his confession. I don't know how I should feel right now. Clara spoke softly, her voice calm but with a faint tremor. Alex remained silent, his eyes never leaving her. He understood this wasn't something she could process easily. Clara, Alex's voice softened, laden with remorse. I don't expect you to forgive me right away. I needed you to know the truth. I wanted to tell you the moment I realized, but I was afraid. Clara gently cut him off, her tone firm yet kind. You were afraid I'd hate you. Alex nodded without hesitation. Yes, I was afraid of losing you. Clara turned to him, her eyes deep with thoughts Alex couldn't quite read. Do you think I would hate you? Alex gave a sad smile. If you did, I wouldn't blame you. Clara lowered her head, falling into quiet contemplation. After a few moments, she took a deep breath, as if trying to release the tension building within her. I've thought about the person who hit me countless times. There were days I wanted to find them and ask, why didn't you stop? Alex's hands tightened, his gaze dropping to the ground. His voice came out hoarse. I've asked myself that same question more times than I can count. But no matter the reason, I know I was wrong. Clara looked at him, her expression gradually softening. I used to think that if I ever met that person, I would cry. I would blame them. But now, I can't. Alex's eyes widened slightly, surprised by her words. Clara smiled faintly, though there was a hint of sadness in it. I chose to forgive a long time ago. Not because I'm generous, but because I realized holding on to anger wouldn't help me walk again. Alex gazed at her, feeling a weight lift from his heart. Yet at the same time, he felt even more indebted to Clara. Clara, you're the strongest person I've ever met. Thank you. She shook her head gently. I just learned to accept what happened. There's still so much beauty ahead of me. For the first time in a long while, Alex felt an unfamiliar peace settle within him. I'll do whatever it takes to make it up to you, Alex said, his eyes reflecting unwavering determination. Not just with words, I'll prove it through my actions. Clara met his gaze, her expression returning to its usual calm. You've already started, Alex. Alex tilted his head slightly curious. Every time you come here, help the elderly, listen to them, and me, that's been the greatest form of redemption. Alex looked at her for a long moment, a lightness spreading through his chest. Then if I continue coming here, helping care for everyone, will you give me the chance to start over? Clara smiled brightly, her eyes shimmering under the golden light of the setting sun. I don't think you need to ask for a chance. The door here is always open for you, Alex. Alex felt his heart skip a beat, light, hopeful, and free. Thank you for not turning away from me. Clara's gaze shifted toward the horizon, where the sun cast long shadows over the garden. Sometimes turning away isn't the answer. It's about walking forward together, no matter what lies ahead. That evening, Alex didn't leave the nursing home as early as usual. He stayed, helping Clara care for the residents and listening to their stories as if they were part of his own life. Deep down, Alex knew this wasn't just atonement. This was a new beginning, where he learned to love and rediscover himself through Clara's unwavering light. Chapter 5. A Happy Ending. That spring, the nursing home was filled with warm sunlight. Bright yellow chrysanthemums bloomed in the garden, and butterflies gently fluttered among the flower beds. Clara sat on her usual bench, her eyes glowing as she gazed at the clear blue sky above. Alex sat beside her, his hand gently holding hers. Since the day he confessed the truth, they had grown closer. Every day, Alex visited the home, talking with Clara, helping her care for the elderly, and participating in all the nursing home's activities. What are you thinking about? Clara tilted her head to look at him. Alex smiled softly, his eyes warm as they met hers. I was thinking, maybe it's time I learned to dance, or I'll never be able to keep up with you. Clara laughed. It'll take you a long time to catch up to me. Though it was a light-hearted joke, Alex always felt a lingering concern. He wished he could do more for Clara, to make it up to her, even though she never asked for anything. One morning, as the first rays of sunlight streamed through the curtains, Clara sat on her bed, gently stretching her legs. Her legs still hadn't regained movement, but something felt different that day. She closed her eyes, focusing on her toes. And then, she felt something, a faint sensation running through her right foot. Clara's eyes shot open. Did I just feel that? She tried to move her toes again. This time they actually twitched. No way! Clara brought her hand to her mouth, tears welling up. Just then the door opened, and Alex stepped in, carrying a bouquet of fresh flowers. Good morning. Alex hadn't finished speaking when Clara called him, her voice trembling with emotion. Alex, come here quickly. Alex placed the flowers on the table and hurried over. What's wrong? He knelt beside her, worried. Clara took his hand, her eyes glistening with tears. Look, she whispered, slowly lifting her foot. Her toes moved again. Alex froze, his eyes widening in disbelief. Clara? You? I can feel it, Alex. I can feel my legs. Alex knelt by the bed, his hands gently holding her foot, as if afraid it was just an illusion. This is a miracle. Clara, you're really healing. For a moment, they both sat in silence, and then Clara burst into tears. Alex smiled, wrapping his arms around her tightly. I told you, a miracle would come to you. Clara trained tirelessly every day. Alex was by her side for every step, encouraging her and supporting her through each therapy session. That afternoon, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, the small garden at the nursing home was bathed in golden light. The chrysanthemums swayed gently in the breeze. Clara sat in her familiar wheelchair, slowly pushing herself along the garden path. She had just helped an elderly woman adjust the scarf on her shoulders. As she turned the wheelchair around, she froze. Alex was kneeling in the middle of the courtyard, holding a small red box. Clara's eyes widened, her hand trembling as she covered her mouth. The elderly residents stopped their conversations, watching with interest. An old man chuckled from the side. I knew this day would come sooner or later. Alex looked up at Clara, his eyes bright but tender and warm. Clara, you are the one who made me realize the meaning of life. I once walked away, missing my chance. But this time, Alex's voice lowered. I won't let that happen again. The box opened, revealing a diamond ring glistening in the soft glow of the sunset. Clara, will you marry me? Time seemed to stop. Clara stared at the ring, then back at Alex, her eyes filled with tears. Alex, she smiled softly, her voice trembling. And then, in front of everyone, Clara placed her hands on the armrests of her wheelchair and took a deep breath. Slowly, she pushed herself up. Gas filled the air. A few of the elderly residents cheered. Thank heavens, Clara can walk. Clara carefully walked toward Alex, one step at a time, steady and determined. You are the one I want to continue this journey with, and I've made it, she whispered, tears streaming down her cheeks. I will, Alex. Alex stood, overwhelmed, and wrapped her in his arms. His hands trembled as he slid the ring onto her finger. The courtyard erupted in applause. Well, the boy finally did it! An elderly woman laughed, dabbing at her eyes. Alex leaned in close to Clara's ear, whispering, Thank you. I love you. You are the miracle of my life. Clara tightened her embrace around Alex, resting her head on his shoulder, feeling the warmth and peace radiating from him. I love you too, Alex. In the small garden under the watchful and joyous eyes of the elderly residents, they knew, no matter the past, the future ahead would shine brightly because they had chosen to walk it together. 1 month later, the garden of the nursing home bloomed vibrantly. White ribbons swayed gently in the breeze, and warm golden lights hung between the trees. Clara stood at the end of the aisle, wearing a simple yet elegant wedding dress. She no longer needed a wheelchair. Her legs could now carry her forward, though slowly. Alex stood at the other end, watching her every step with love and pride. The elderly residents sat in the front row, beaming and whispering, I knew it. They were meant to be. When Clara reached Alex, he gently took her hand, holding it tightly as if he never wanted to let go. You look beautiful today, Alex whispered. And today I am the happiest person alive. Clara smiled, her eyes shining. After the wedding, Alex and Clara didn't just start their new life. They founded a charity to support the elderly and those in need. The foundation was named Sunlight, symbolizing the hope and warmth they wish to spread. You showed me what compassion is, Clara. This foundation is how we continue that path, Alex said, watching the elderly happily chatting in the courtyard. We will help them and those who need light, just like I once needed you, Clara replied, squeezing his hand. And in the nursing home courtyard, bathed in the glow of the sunset, they knew this was a new beginning, where happiness was built through forgiveness, love, and the simplest miracles. Thank you for following our story. How would you rate this tale from 1 to 10? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Your feedback means the world to us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like, and share this story with others.